Cormagadero, or my land Sasta, the Baha Shohanu, the Conch, we didn't hang in a fur boss or son Sears in a Heron or Stalduckers. Firstly, I'd like to remember our comrades and the people of Palestine who are being slaughtered as we speak here today. Comrades, your struggle is our struggle. We stand with you. We grieve with you for your family and your friends. Occupation no more. Freedom to Ireland and freedom to Palestine. In the long struggle for freedom, sovereignty and a 32-county socialist republic, there have been many memorable and prominent occurrences. None so much as the 1981 hunger strikes by Irish Republicans who were held in the most inhumane conditions in the H blocks of Longcash prison camp near Belfast, in the still occupied 6 counties of Ireland. Hunger strike is deeply ingrained in the Irish psyche, stretching back as far as the genocide carried out on the Irish people in 1846 and 1847. People lay at the door of the landlord and starved themselves to death. 22 of our comrades we commemorate here today made this ultimate sacrifice. True revolutionaries. While incarcerated in prisons all across Ireland and England, our comrades took the drastic but extremely courageous step. The weapon in prison, comrades, is your own free will. To withdraw this and stand firm and give your life for your fellow country people and for oppressed people all across the world. The greed of the imperialist can never understand what makes a person do such a thing. But we know, comrades, we know and we understand these are revolutionaries, soldiers with a just cause, freedom, independence and a 32-county socialist republic. The conditions in the H blocks were described by independent visitors as worse than the slums of Calcutta in India. These men were forcibly strip-searched, beaten, tortured and sexually abused by sadistic loyalist thugs who had carte blanche to carry out whatever punishment they wished. This was all in the interests of the establishment, who sought to crush the resistance movement by aiming to ensure that these captured revolutionaries would be broken. But they made the crucial mistake, as all colonisers do. They were committed soldiers of the Republic who would rather lay down their lives than be treated as criminals. And that, Ahorja, is exactly what they did. So we are here today to commemorate these brave men and the actions they took to maintain our political credibility, both nationally and internationally, as freedom fighters, as soldiers of the Irish Revolution, as soldiers of the Republic. These very streets were thronged with good, sound people of Dublin and further afield, marching and screaming for the lives of our comrades to be spared. They marched on the British Embassy. They proudly marched through O'Connell Street, as we just did, past the GPO, where our soldiers fought the British and were executed by them for the audacity to challenge the right of the British to remain in Ireland. Well, as Connolly said, the British government has no right in Ireland, never had any right in Ireland, and never will have any right in Ireland. So, comrades, my message is very clear and simple. Get out, and get out now. The people of Ireland want to live in peace with their neighbours across the water. But this can only happen when you withdraw every aspect of your occupation. Remove your falsely created border and allow us, the Irish people, to govern our own country, to express our culture, to speak our language, and to share our rich musical and poetic and literary skills. These elements which have been distorted by the British negative influence in our country. The comrades we commemorate here today knew the sacrifice would have reverberations across the world, then and now. Their selfless act has inspired millions across the globe. Workers downed tools in support of the 5 demands, and streets were named after our comrade, Bobby Sands. From Paris to Turin to Tehran, and from New York to Nuts, all in the face of Western imperialism, the imperialist apparatus. Their act allowed people to stand up and support resistance that these brave comrades displayed. And despite the best interests of imperialists, they won. Yep, they won. Theirs and our struggle was and is recognised as a legitimate struggle against British imperialism and the criminalisation of a whole people, of a whole nation. The people, the Irish people, stood firm and demanded these men would not be labelled or treated as common criminals. Sadly, we lost 10 brave comrades on this most recent hunger strike and another 12 on others throughout our struggle. We will never forget them. We will never deny them, and we will always hold them in the highest esteem. While others grovel for crumbs from the table of their imperialist masters, we stand proud and 100% committed to that for which these brave men died. And that, comrades, is a 32-county socialist republic and nothing less. We also have thugs masquerading as Republicans from Dublin and other parts of this country. Right-wing fascists and criminals disrespecting our flag, disrespecting our ideology, and being used by MI5 and other security services. Comrades, open your eyes. These are being led by establishment touts like Tommy Robinson, far-right ex-British soldiers and loyalist murderers. Is this what these idiots consider Republican? I think not. Well, let me tell you, it is not Republican. This will not be allowed to continue, and we will challenge at every step. These people are not Republicans, and their bile and hatred does not represent the Republican movement. The proclamation states, cherish all of the children equally, and that, comrades, is what we will do. The teachings of Tone, Mallows, Connolly and our brave Bobby Sands are that we are internationalists, we are inclusive and we are socialists. Do not be fooled by what this outrageous gang of thugs who are out to do the work of the Asian provocateur. We are better than this, we are stronger than this. It is the government that people need to be protesting against. Years of corruption, mismanaged, backhanders and brown envelopes. And let me tell you, the next crowd will be no better. There are, of course, legitimate concerns. Of course there is. But that lies at the feet of the government in power, and not a poor refugee fleeing war and conflict and persecution by the very people who create these unjust wars. Protest. Everyone come together like during the fantastic water charge protests where the working class people of Dublin stood up and said enough is enough. March on the house of so-called democracy. March on the people who are tasked with governance of Ireland. They will do anything to hold their power. And comrades, be under no illusion, that is what this is about. Power, money, corruption and greed. So, where to now? Are we to wait on change? Or are we to wait on destruction? Or are we to follow like lemmings over the edge? Well, comrades, I say no. Fight back, organise, agitate, educate to liberate. We cannot do it if we stand. We can do it if we stand together. The vast majority of people are working class people. Without us, they can't even turn on a light. Unite the working class against the establishment and achieve the dreams of Tone, Mallows, Connolly and Sands. That is freedom. That is our 32-county socialist republic. Comrades, I will conclude with a poem by the forward-thinking revolutionary Bobby Sands called Modern Times. And listening to the words of Modern Times, you would think he was here today. It is said we live in modern times in the civilized year of 79. But when I look around, all I see is modern torture, pain and hypocrisy. In modern times, little children die. They starve to death, but who dares ask why? And little girls without a tire run screaming napalm through the night air. And while fat dictators sit upon their thrones, young children bury their parents' bones. And secret police in the dead of night electrocute the naked woman out of sight. In the gutter lies the black man, dead. And where the oil flows blackest, the streets run red. And there was he who was born and came to be, but lived and died without liberty. As the bureaucrats, speculators and presidents alike pin on their dirty, stinking, happy smiles tonight, the lonely prisoner will cry out from within his tomb, and tomorrow's wretch will leave its mother's womb. From the river to the sea, from the plough to the stars, Ireland and Palestine will be free. Go on, Maher.